50 feet in front of the White House.
No way.
There's something to be said for Canadian democracy. In fact, the RCMP called me on my phone yesterday and said, Mark, it's the RCMP on the Hill. Is everything set for tomorrow? I go, yeah. I said, good. You need anything? No, not as far as I know. They said, well, okay, so we've got you've already picked the spot. Man, this area here allocated for us. But anyway, I can't imagine the White House security staff calling up a bunch of potheads and saying, oh yeah, the president's got the front doorstep open for you and the front lawn's bailed. Smoke your ass off, right? I can't imagine it. I came in today,
Canada.
and Falun Gong has been protesting, demonstrating all day. You know, their slogan is truth, compassion, tolerance. And earlier there were Christians here demonstrating about people in Pakistan and other parts of the world being persecuted because they're Christian. And I took their literature and spoke with them, and I admire the fact that they're out here. But the fact is, that's going on in other countries. There has been a Holocaust going on in Canada for 35 years. Now, it's hard to believe, because numbers all get statistical looking, but 2 million Canadians have been arrested, detained, hassled, searched, often strip searched.
Right here, man.
There you go, that's well, and me like 16, 17 times too. I got used to that phrase. You'll excuse me, ladies, if you find the statement impertinent, but I've heard on over a dozen occasions the term lift your bag for a cop who's looking at all my orifices and stuff like that. So, but my point was, I'm just one person and 2 million Canadians, 2 million people of this country, of every province, who has been arrested, detained, and hassled. And in 35 years, we've had 1 million Canadians convicted. Imagine the time, money, effort, and human misery involved in such a senseless pursuit. I would love to ask the Prime Minister and any other members of Parliament, all 301 of them, what is the moral basis by which we which the nation persecutes the marijuana people? How does the nation in any way benefit by rounding people up? You know, marijuana possession is actually legal. So by the way, this chonger of a joint, it's not even illegal. It's not even illegal. So what we're really here to ask Parliament and ask the public and ask of ourselves is what effort can we put forward to make sure marijuana stays legal, marijuana possession stays legal. But what I've never heard anyone in Parliament, no cabinet minister, the Attorney General has never said so, what is the moral basis by which the nation persecutes the marijuana people? After all, there isn't a person in here who has not drank alcohol. Every single member of Parliament's drank alcohol. And do you know that alcohol is implicated in 70% of all homicides in Canada? 60% of all domestic disputes involve marijuana, and 25% of all violent... Sorry, you didn't stop me when I said that. Alcohol, that's right. 25% of all violent crime is alcohol implicated, and yet every member of Parliament has drank alcohol. So what is the moral basis by which the nation persecutes people who would be smoking a chunk like this? You know what? That's like a whole ounce, and that's not going to make anybody feel bad after it gets passed around. Not a single one of you are going to... And I assure you, not a single one of you will be violent, antisocial, and in any way hostile, violent. It's going to be a wonderful sunny afternoon on Parliament Hill where we're taking some democracy back to the Parliament. And we're going to show them, as always, I've been to 18 cities and I've never seen an ugly incident. I've had endless parties, I've given thousands of people marijuana, and to this day I've never even seen a fight break out. Now you can go to a bar, any bar in Ottawa, and a fight's going to break out every night in that bar at some point in time. Alcohol, and I'm not, you know, and I don't want to ban alcohol. Don't get it big. Despite the fact that alcohol is implicated in thousands and thousands of dangerous, violent, and tragic crimes in this country, I don't want to ban alcohol. Just like I don't want to ban cigarettes, even though they're implicated in 400,000 deaths every year in North America. Tobacco, which is legal, and which lobbies the government, and which the government finds very profitable, and I dare say there's at least 50 to 100 members of Parliament who smoke tobacco. It's implicated in 400,000 deaths, and yet it's legal. Marijuana has never been implicated in any kind of death. You know what? You'll never get cancer of the lungs. You'll never get a respiratory ailment if you smoke just marijuana your whole life. You know what? Because if there was even one guy that died of cancer from smoking pot, he'd be a poster boy, and you'd see it everywhere. but it never happens. In 35, you know, I've smoked chronic for 23 years. I mean, I must have taken about 10,000 bong hits and about 20,000 joints. Theoretically, I should have pounds and pounds of carbon sticking off my lungs, but I'm not. I feel fabulous. I know smokers who've been smoking just pot for 25, 30 years. Not one of them has a respiratory illness. And in fact, there's over 7, 8 million Canadians who smoked marijuana in the last 20 years. Not one of them has been implicated in a health defect of the lungs or the respiratory system. And of course, as you know, many of us smoke marijuana to deal with the ailment. So marijuana has unprecedented uses, we know that. Alcohol, tobacco, bad. Fatty foods are bad. There's lots of dangerous activities going on that are legal. Heck, adultery is legal, and it tears families apart. You know, you can make a lot of bad decisions in your life that impact upon you, your neighbors, and your friends in health ways, in moral ways, in family ways, and those are legal decisions. We accept the risk of being a human being for the most part. Why is marijuana illegal? Furthermore, there's 164 million people around the world that smoke marijuana. Many of them every day like myself. 164 million people, 5.5 times the population of Canada, smokes marijuana worldwide. Every country, even including Amsterdam, Holland, marijuana is illegal. So what then is the basis by which the marijuana people around the world are persecuted? Where is the logic? There is no logic, but I'll tell you what it's all about. It's all about control. Marijuana people are anti-dogma people. We don't accept dogma. We don't accept the rules as they're given to us. We question authority. We're critical thinkers. We're non-conformists. And to a government, truly free, to governments everywhere, there's nothing more dangerous than a non-conformist. And that is why marijuana remains illegal. And incredibly, there are people in this parliament. By the way, marijuana is legal, so we don't want any new proposed bill. The Prime Minister's in the paper today saying the one bill he wants to get done by the time he leaves office, that he's going to praise the marijuana proposal. That's bad. Let's hope that gets buried. First of all, we're going to smoke this chonger, and a lot of you probably brought your own marijuana, and you're going to light it up, and it's perfectly legal to do so. I never thought I'd see the day when I'd be saying, standing in front of Parliament, marijuana's legal. Let's keep it that. In Ontario for almost 5 months, and where's the body count? Where's the reason why it should be made illegal again? Hold on. And there's going to be four bongs. Hold on. Now remember, Freud said it might be just a spliff too. Somehow it's like the bell is tolling for us. I know, some of you can't even wait the 20 minutes I'm going to make you wait to get in on this, but the Prime Minister wants to bring back prohibition of marijuana possession. Now we want to make marijuana growing legal, we want to make marijuana selling legal. You know, I've seen the future and it's beautiful. We'll be growing in greenhouses, in our backyards. We'll totally demonetize marijuana amongst ourselves because we'll all be growing it in our backyards. We'll be growing it in greenhouses on this vast, huge land that could grow infinite amounts of marijuana. And when we're not trading it with each other, on a non-monetary basis, we'll be able to buy 25 to 30 strains in vacuum-sealed, nitrogen-sealed envelopes at a place like Starbucks where they got 25 or 30 kinds, you know, called the Cannabis Cafe or the Hemp Cafe. And Agriculture Canada will make sure that no one sprayed any pesticides on it, so that you're going to get top quality marijuana unadulterated by pesticides. If anybody wants to grow in their home, we'll get a licensed electrician to come in and install that electricity and make sure everybody knows it's safe and the kids aren't at risk. I have seen the future in a legal environment and it's beautiful. So why do they want to bring prohibition back and make it worse? The Prime Minister's one impetus this session is to get that marijuana recriminalization. It's not decrim, it's recriminalization. Marijuana is legal today. It's been legal for 5 months in Ontario. And you know what? The police chief of Owen Sound, back in May, when it was made legal by the Superior Court of Ontario and validated at the time by the Ontario Court of Appeal, he said, I predict a long, hot, violent summer now that marijuana is legal. Well, where is he to account for that statement? He terrorized and threatened Ontarians 5 months ago by saying legal marijuana would make a long, hot, violent summer. All I know is that 50,000 people had joints at the Rolling Stones concert, and not a single violent incident was reported, and that entire day with 500,000 people.
Yes.
By the way, if you look at the statistics, that 25% of all violent crimes are implicated by alcohol, and 60% of domestic abuse, and they're all drinking beer that day, you can be thankful that 50,000 people bought marijuana and calmed everybody down.
Exactly.
Another miracle of cannabis therapeutics.
Yes.
But do we get any credit?
No.
No, we don't get any credit. The marijuana never hurts people, never kills people, never going to give you cancer. People say, oh, Bob Marley died of cancer. Yeah, he died of cancer of the toe. All right, that's the one part of his body that probably never touched cannabis. So, just keep in mind, Bob Marley did not die of lung cancer, respiratory ailments, or anything like that. No one ever dies of marijuana. No one's ever died of it for all the time. You know, 20 million Americans smoke marijuana all the time. And by the way, over 10 million Americans have criminal convictions for marijuana. 10 million people. You know, Canadians, if you're a young person, you get a marijuana conviction, cultivation, possession, anything, you will never be able to go to the United States in the foreseeable future. You'll never go to an American university. You will never be able to get a transnational job with any company that does business in Canada and the United States. You won't be able to get bonded. You will have a criminal record that will haunt you for the rest of your life, all because you believe in the herb. The unifying, peaceful, perfectly safe, healthy, wholesome, grows everywhere on planet Earth. You know, I even sold seeds to a guy on Baffin Island who's growing pot up there, and he has to tear down his grow op every 10 weeks because the RCMP flies in for a 12-hour check just to see if he's still alive, basically. And he has to tear down his grow op. And the RCMP comes in, he puts it all back together again. So he always needs a strain that finishes really fast. My point being is that marijuana grows in every hamlet, village, city, town, province, state, and country on earth. There is no country in the world that does not have a marijuana culture. Yet universally, everywhere, across the globe, we are hunted down.
That's amazing.
We are shamed. We are forced to hide. What is the moral basis by which all these governments have gotten together to force millions of their own citizens to hide in shame, to run, to have our children admonished to rat us out, to have our parents rat us out? I mean, it's like a multi-generational Stalinist system. You got to worry about your kids blabbing, you got to worry about your parents blabbing. I mean, what a life to lead, what a world to have to live in when marijuana causes no harm. So one of the things we have to do is we have to make sure Parliament does not recriminalize marijuana. For example, they're proposing fines. It would be very difficult to have rallies in the future if they can give a fine out to every one of us who are here smoking a joint. The government would probably collect $20,000 in this crowd alone by penalizing us with fines for the possession of marijuana. We don't want the new proposed bill to pass.
No way.
That's right. And furthermore, where I'm from in British Columbia, there's about 75,000 to 100,000 marijuana grow operations, and that's probably conservative. And that's just the indoor one. Each grow operation employs 2 to 4 people. That's 250,000 people. The new proposed bill that the government has put forward proposes a 14-year penalty for people who cultivate more than 50 plants. Now, I don't know about your grow-up, but every single grow-up in British Columbia is more than 50 plants. Right. I mean, if anybody's ever grown marijuana, you could grow one plant and all you do is stand there and stare at it. Come on. You're always going to ways to make it all happen faster, so what the heck, I may as well do about 50 cuttings and have 50 plants and stare at them. And in fact, in no time at all, you got several rooms in the house and there's pot everywhere. We all know that's how it's true. It's amazing watching the life of a plant. You can't help but want to make more and more of them, even if you wouldn't even smoke them all.
It's God's creation.
That's right.
Yes.
These people in this building make a big show of being very religious, pious people much of the time. Every book, every holy book has marijuana.
Yes.
The Hindu books are all based on Shiva, their god, their founding god, their deity, smoking and using marijuana. The ancient Etruscans, the